Hi, welcome to Honey4Seasons, where wisdom is essential for every season of our lives. Today, I want to tell you guys a story about a bag of chips. So, back when I was in middle school, I had this teacher. His name was Dr. Rios. If you're watching this, I just want to say I love you, but I'm not going to lie that this particular memory that I have, I felt like you were out to get me, specifically this day. But, anywho, so I was in this classroom and we were all taking a test that day. And one of the rules that Dr. Rios had was that you are not allowed to eat food in the classroom, which is completely valid because, you eat your food at lunch. And when you're in the class, it's time to learn. Completely valid. However, we were all taking a test, and I noticed that everyone around me was eating a snack. And I was like, yo, I want a snack too. I was a goody two shoe that time. I was a nerd, a straight A student. Like, I always did what I was told. And I thought to myself, okay, it's just this one time, right? So I had a bag of chips in my book bag. I went to reach out for it. As soon as my hands made contact with these bag of chips, my teacher, Dr. Rios, he calls out to me. He says, come here. And I'm like, yo, what in the world? There's no way. I was like, no freaking way. So I go to him and I'm like, yes, sir. Like, what's going on? And I'm playing dumb. I'm playing like I'm innocent. Like, I didn't eat the chips. And he tells me, he says, you do know that one of the rules is that you are not allowed to eat in the class. And I was like, yes. And I followed that. I did not eat in your class. And he said, had I not called out your name, you would have. And I said, but I have not. Was he right? He was definitely right. Had he not called out my name, I would have 1000% opened those bag of chips and I would have eaten them. And he says to me, well, for that reason, I'm going to have to write you up. And I was like, there is no way that you're going to write me up. I have not done the crime. You know what I'm saying? Like, why do I have to do the time if I did not do the crime? And he was like, well, again, had I not called out your name, you would have. And so for that reason, I am going to write you up. So I was trying to justify myself and I got really frustrated with him. And I said, yo, what about all the other students who are doing it right in front of your face? Every single person in this classroom is eating right in front of your face. And they're doing it so openly. And me, who was trying to be sneaky about it, I was the one that gets called out. And the one who did not even get to eat the chips, I was the one that got called out. And he says to me, I don't care about what everyone else is doing. I care about what you are doing. I'm asking about what you're doing. Again, I'm going to write you up. I was really upset that day. I did get, I did in fact get reprimanded. Like, I cannot deny that. As you can tell, it is engraved in my head, and I say it is engraved for a reason, and it is a beautiful one. I want to share a Bible verse with you guys. It's in Romans chapter 14, verse 12, and it says, so then every one of us shall give account of himself to God. Straight to the point. On Judgment Day, when God talks to you, you are going to be held accountable for everything that you've said and everything that you've done. And you cannot victimize yourself in front of him and try to use everyone else's decisions to justify yours. You cannot say, oh, well, what about everyone else in the world? They were sinning. Why are you only calling out to me? No, God is going to say, I'm not asking about what A, B, C, and D did. I'm asking about what you did, what you said, what you've done. And I know it sounds weird, but one of the things that really stood out to me was when my teacher, he told me, had I not called out your name, you would have sinned. You would have done it. And it's true. And many times we feel like it's unfair that we are being corrected, even though we haven't fully 100% indulged in a sin. But it's because God is trying to protect us from falling into sin, because the wages of sin is death. He doesn't want us to burden our soul and ruin our lives. Sometimes when we make a mistake, it is so hard to fix it because the gravity of that mistake, sin doesn't just affect us, but it affects the people around us. And so I want to encourage you guys, don't feel like it's unfair if God is correcting you. You know, God loves those that he corrects. And so, Dr. Rios, if you're watching this, I am grateful for being written up that day. God has used you in a mighty way. So, thank you guys so much for watching this. And I pray that this has blessed you. And I hope that you catch what I was trying to say, you know what I'm saying? Catch what I'm throwing to you, you know? Thanks for watching. I love you guys so much. God loves you so much. And God bless your beautiful souls.